as the year draws to an end, it does seem like these big organizations, ACE, FACT, the MPAA, they want to deliver a clear message that if you are accessing unlicensed content, third-party content, whether that's movies, TV shows, IPTV, all that good stuff, they want you to know that they're coming after these resellers, people sharing this content, even people accessing this kind of content. Now, it does sound like scaremongering, and in most cases it is, but more and more people have now started receiving letters, people have started receiving emails, and I do have some examples to share with you. Now, the source of this article was posted today on Codebusters. As you can see here, it does say that the warning emails have hit illegal Firestick IPTV users across the UK. Now, it says that if you've been using illegal IPTV streaming services on your Firestick, on your streaming device, you may want to check your inbox because you could be getting squeezed from two directions at once. FACT, which is the UK's leading anti-piracy organisation, has recently contacted over 1,000 people across the country via email and text messages, warning that you are using illegal services and to stop using them, otherwise you could potentially face prosecution. Now, you can see on the screen there was something somebody shared with me, which was from Sky, where again somebody was accessing illegal content. And there's also another example where another person was accessing content and he also received a warning email. Now, if you are based in the UK or really anywhere in the world, and if you have received a text message or an email or any kind of warning, please do share it with me so I can then share it with the rest of my subscribers, just so we can see how far and wide this particular program is running and seeing where people are being impacted by this. Now, it says this is not happening in isolation. Amazon has also been systematically blocking illegal IPTV apps across Fire TV devices, which I'm sure you guys have seen now. Certain applications, when you try to launch them, it tells you that these applications are providing access to unlicensed content, and those applications are now blocked. I know previously they allowed you to launch them anyway, but with the recent update now, it's a straightforward block, so you cannot use those applications anymore. Obviously, there are workarounds using modded versions or app cloners or other stuff like that, but you can see that Amazon is also fighting this war with ACE and these other media companies. Now, this is the key part where it says that the message from FACT is blunt. They know who you are and who's watching this unauthorized content. Now, the most typical way any of these companies will be able to identify you is with your IP address, because your IP address belongs to your internet service provider. So if anybody was monitoring you, if you're downloading or streaming or uploading, they'll be able to tie your IP address down to a particular ISP. Then that internet service provider will be able to say, at this particular point, this IP address was allocated to TechDoctor, and because of that, they'll know that it's you that was accessing this content. And this is obviously why most people do use a VPN when accessing anything like this, because it gives you that extra layer of protection, it encrypts your traffic, and it stops your ISP seeing what you're doing on your device. Now, further down, it does actually say, how did FACT get your details? It talks about a case which was happening in Liverpool and another illegal streaming service. They caught those people and they also seized customer databases, and it says these databases contain details of these people who'd purchased access to these Fire Sticks or loaded boxes, and those customers are now being contacted by FACT via email or text messages. In the Liverpool case, that person was charged 3 years and 4 months for running this modification or this illegal Fire Stick business. But what makes it very interesting is that he received a separate concurrent sentence of 2 years and 3 months specifically for watching illegal streams himself. So it wasn't just the case that he was profiting, he was selling loaded boxes or loaded Fire Sticks. The fact that he was actually accessing this kind of content, he was also given a further sentence because of that. So it does look like, at least in the UK, that accessing this kind of content is becoming more and more of a real threat or a real worry, and people can potentially face criminal prosecution for illegal streaming. You can see some of the devices here. You've got your Fire Sticks, you've got your Formula boxes, and some other generic Android boxes were all seized in this particular raid. So overall, guys, you can see they are trying to make things more and more difficult, whether that's blocking your favorite Android-based applications, blocking them on your Fire Stick, or trying to convince people to buy the 4K Fire Stick Select so they can't sideload. Their aim is just to make this process as difficult as possible. But as I'm sure you guys know, especially the ones that have been in this game for a long time, the demand for piracy is just too great. So whether they completely block out 10 different applications, more options will always be available. You can stop one application, you can stop one add-on, but there's always other options out there. Even on the Fire Stick, if you have noticed, some applications are blocked. there's many other applications or many modded versions of those original applications you can use, which are still working absolutely fine. And if you've head up the Fire Stick, there's many other Android-based devices you can use where you can happily run your third-party streaming application. So overall, I don't think there's anything too much to worry about. The only thing I would suggest there is make sure you are using a VPN just for your own privacy, just for your own protection, and to make sure that nobody can monitor and track you. And just to end by saying that I really wish you guys a healthy, happy, and prosperous 2026. I really appreciate all of your support over the last 12 months, for watching my videos, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, sending me emails, sending me suggestions. It really does make all the difference. So many thanks for that, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.